All right. So, I know I'm not supposed to be buying new inks, but actually, let me get something to show an example. It is super muggy at my work. There's no such thing as air conditioning over here, just and it's really muggy, and I keep smearing in my planner. There it is again. That was just me messing up. Kind of just touching things or drinking ice cold drinks and they drip on it. So I want to use permanent inks. I have been loving the Smoky Mauve from Diamine Forever so much that, yeah, I was going to just get the purple Passion. And then Key said, hey, why don't you get the mixing set and do it like Nick Stewart has done? Look at all the colors he made. And so I went to Nick Stewart's Instagram and I was like, I had actually had to stop looking at Nick Stewart's Instagram because he just made me want to do all these things. But I'm full on Nick Stewart again. And I'll put a picture up of the color wheel that he managed to do with these 3 inks. I think he did them with these 3 inks because he actually specified that the 4 inks you need includes Raven. And I did not see him actually mixing them. So I'm going to try and, try and mix a purple. And maybe I actually cleaned out a couple of my Twisbies for this. So these, and I'll do another thing. These are my, not this one, currently inked a lot. So I just filled these the heck up with kind of favorite inks. And that way I always have my favorite inks and then I can just use my nice pins, my pins with neat grinds and things like that for doing samples. And that's my plan for the rest of the year. So I've got 2 more Twisbies. So and I have this, I was really surprised that I went through this because it's such a fine nib. But I also have this Pilot Kakuno that I need to clean out. So I could maybe make 3 inks. Look at how much ink is in that nib. Maybe that's where it all went. Or lid. So I need to clean that. And then I have possibly 3 pins that I can use in my planner. I'm curious about this Skylight because I'm still looking for like my blue. This could be a good blue. So yeah, let's get swatching. I've got my mixing tray. I don't have my pipettes because, you know, why would I be totally ready? I don't even have, one sec. All right, I pressed stop. I've got my pipettes. I've got my mixing thing. I've got my glass nib. I hope to God you guys can't hear my stomach. Health issues. I'm just not gonna. I can't let it stop me. So there's kind of like whitish stuff at the bottom of this. So I'm kind of, you know, trying to mix it in. I think that might be the, so apparently this ink has got nanoparticles. And that is what makes it different than the other pigment inks. And one of the things I'm hoping is that, I think I mentioned in my swatching with friends, where am I going to put these? Hang on a second. I just been leaving these sitting here. Oh my God. Okay. This is going great. This is way too bright for me. This is way too bright. To me to use as is. But other people might like that. I am not a person who does the way too bright. Oh, I dipped that way too far in there. Trying not to get that all over my hands. Okay. Wipes out of my way. Diamine. It's pretty. You know, maybe I can use this. I think I used something similar in my Leonardo earlier. I'm not going to put a pigment ink in my Leonardo yet. I'm not that confident in pigment inks. Glasses, get out of my way. But in my planner, which is not, you know, in my journal, I don't like using bright inks because they knock back all my imagery. But okay, so we're gonna do hot magenta next. In my planner, I don't think that will matter very much. I mean, I was using a very bright purple that I tried to use once in my journal, and I was like, yee. Okay, this is hot magenta. So my goal today is to mix a pretty purple. I have a feeling, though, that this all might be a bit intense, and maybe I should use some of the Raven sample, which is that right here? No. Where'd I put it? Gosh dang it, Shauna. Oh, it's over here. Okay. To, you know, knock it back, dull it down. Usually I use a much lighter color to do that. So that could be interesting. So when I sold those covers, somebody had Diamine Forever Ink on Amazon, and so I asked for Amazon gift cards, and then it wasn't on there. So what I did was I bought some grocery items with my Amazon gift card, and then just used money to buy this. This money that I used to buy this had been, I just stuck my finger in it, saved for a Asvine C80, which I saw in person, and they're gorgeous and they feel really nice in the hand, but I am a side writer in my daily life, also a bit bright. And I didn't feel like I had very much control with that number 8 size nib, because the nib was kind of too far from the paper for when you write. Anyways, if I wrote like a normal person, it felt fine, but for my most comfortable writing position, it did not. Okay, so this is Solar Yellow. Now, if you want to see a better mixing video, go to Bookish Artist, because she's an artist. She's better at these things, and she did a really, really thorough video. I'm just doing a mess around video. Much different from thorough. Damn. So I'm wondering a little bit whether I should have got the butterscotch as my mixing color, because that's a little bit brown and a little bit duller, but we shall see. This is very bright. For some reason, bright yellows make me feel weird when I look at them. Anyone else? All right. So I don't think I need the yellow at the moment. Let's open up the magenta and the blue. And I think one drop of magenta, we'll do 2 drops of magenta. And 3 drops of blue. And this just touched the yellow. Don't touch the yellow. And then mix that together. That's still very blue. It doesn't look like that changed at all. All right, let's add more magenta. Three, 4, 5. Okay. So that's 5 of magenta. That blue is really strong. It's not doing anything, guys. More magenta. One, 2, 3. So that's 8 magenta, right? Shut up, Tommy. It's still really blue. It's not even really going that purple. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that is 13 magenta. Okay, that is pretty much similar to the purple that I was using in here. So I should write these things down. Let me write that down. I need a pen. Okay, so this was 3 blue times 2 magenta. This is 3 blue times, what was that? 5 magenta. 3 blue times 8 magenta. 3 blue times, it was 13 magenta. All right, so now I'm wondering what would happen if because opposite of purple is yellow, if 1 drop of yellow would dull it down. And then after this, I'll ask my son to kind of, I'm just going to leave those in there, do math and figure out how to give me a sample's worth. 1 drop. That's a nice kind of dusky purple. I wish there was a way to make it lighter, but I like this. This is really good. I'm wondering, let me write with this, how close that is to Sydney Lavender. Or the Great Owl. So this is 3 blue times 13 magenta times 1 yellow. It's very dark. It's almost black in the writing with this pen. Let me get my fine Hokoro nib out. All right. Fine Hokoro nib acquired. 3 blue times 13 magenta times 1 yellow. Okay. That is pretty much the color I want, because the TWSBIs that I'm going to be putting the inks in are basically extra fine TWSBIs, which was the equivalent to my fine Hokoro, I think. I like this color. This is good. Okay, we'll go with that. We'll figure out how to translate that to enough to fill a TWSBI. I should probably suck this up and put it in a sample vial for now. You're probably thinking, that's not really enough to save. But basically, it's not about saving it to use in a pen. It's about saving it to test against a bigger mix. That is not clean. All right. Now I want to mix. So basically, I had ancient copper in there. And so I want something a little bit more like that. Let me get my iPad, and so I can look at the Instagram post. All right, so this is where we might be incorporating the raven. This is going to be a mess because I have to do it in some places on here. All right, where's the little thing? Okay. So we've got our little mixing thing, and it was, my iPad was logged out, and my ability to log back in requires my phone, which I'm filming on. 3, 4, 5. 5 magenta. 1 yellow. See what that is. That's a little bit orangey or red. So now if I do 1 black, what will happen? I just splattered black all over my floor. And my planner. This is why I like covers on things. Easy cleanup. All right, let's see what we've got now. Basically, black. Reddish black. Oh, that's good. I like that. That could be my... It's not ancient copper, but I do like it. All right, let's try writing with it. With my Hokoro, which I cleaned, right? Yes, okay. What was that? Magenta. I need to go back and view the video. Magenta. 1 time yellow. And 1 time black. Yep, I like that color. Okay, well, this was a short video. I'm basically going to be filling... The thing about having the clear ones of these is, look, you can see that it gets inside the little feed thing. Not the feed thing, the section. And I didn't know it was doing that before. All right, so now I have to save this to compare it against, get my son to do some math, make me some samples, and yeah, then fill up my Twisbees, and I guess I'll come back and write with my Twisbees. I can give you the proportions as well. The proportions, the recipe, the whatever you want to call it. All right. But first I have to go back and watch my video because I don't remember how much magenta I did from 2 seconds ago. All right, this is when I come to the realization that I've worn all the markings off of my pipettes. This one still has markings, and this one still has some of its markings, but enough so that I can do this. Apparently, I did a prime number, which is a terrible, terrible math crime when you're trying to figure out proportions for things. So this might be close, but not great. So we need to turn the page. And I'm just going to have 2 sample files open so I could like do both the yellows and do both the, I have like 100 different sample file holders. All right. So where's the other sample file? All right. I've got both of my sample files. I am going to pull up 0.3 milliliters of yellow for this purple mix. Am I nervous? Am I going to cut this out? Because you'll see that I am not that one. I'm just going to put that over there. Where's the one I was going to use? Here. Okay. So let me just make sure it's clean. All right, 0.3. Not quite. Just a little more. All right. And then we need 1.4 of yellow for this other color. So for my reddish brown. So because I only have 2 that have markings on it, I'm gonna have to clean this one out to do the black, but I will do the magenta first with the other one because I've got 3.9 of magenta. And that goes in this one. And then 3.5 of magenta. And this one. All right, I'm off to go clean these. All right, they're cleaned. So I need, well, I thought they were cleaned. Then I unscrewed it. Okay, that's clean. So now I need 1.4 of black. Where did I put the black? Right here. for this color. It's a very full sample. I'm going to put the lid on because it's making me nervous. All right. And then this one, I need 0.9 milliliter blue. Yeah, all right. Found the lid too. All right, we're gonna turn the page. And I already put that behind there. Let's see what this giant sample vial looks like and if it matches this one. All right, so here's the OG. OG purple mix. Against the new purple mix. I'll put mathed purple mix. And then we'll do OG. I don't know whether I have enough on here to write with. OG, kind of reddish. Mix. Let's see if I can get enough on this nib. OG reddish mix. Oh God, I almost just shook that and I didn't have the lid on. Nice. Yeah, this looks weird in here. All right. It's more brown. All right, so what I think I'm going to do, I don't mind it being brown. Mathed reddish mix. I like the brown, but what I think I'm going to do is take half of this brown and put it in another sample vial and add a little tiny bit more red to it. Like a drop. See what happens. I need another sample vial. Let's do this over the top of that, so if some spills, it doesn't spill all over my desk. All right, so I'll just pour it out a bit. Like maybe one converter fill worth. And I'm going to put 1 drop of magenta. Where's my magenta eyedropper? Move that up there because I'm afraid of myself. Where'd I put the swatching tool? Ugh, I hate clear things. I think I'll take that. Second try. It is darker. There's more black in here, I think, than I needed. But I'm not mad at it. I like it. All right, so I will fill my TWSBIs. I'll first make labels. I don't even know how I'd recreate that. Actually, that's not that different. I'm going to add a little bit more red. Yeah. 1 more red. That's not far off ancient copper. I like that. I don't know what this mix is. Like, I can't give you the proportions of it, but I mean, it is drying down back to brown, but I like that it's a little bit more of a reddish brown. I mean, it's not that, but I'm okay. I like this. Because I'm just, I mean, all this was just winging it. I'm going to try 1 more drop. Can't stop. I'm going to try 2 more drops. Okay. Whatever I end up with, that's what I'm using. Proper science does not live in this room. It lives in the room next door. Yeah, I think I like. Because once these dry down, they aren't looking too different from each other. I just want it to be a little bit redder. 4th try. No. Okay, it's looking redder now, but does it look like that when it dries? And do I need to add more magenta? I'm going through that magenta. Oh, flicking ink all over the town. All right. See what that one looks like when it's dry. In the meantime, let's load this purple into the TWSBI. All right, we've got the TWSBI Eco Glow Purple in extra fine. Right, I've got a pretty good fill of that. Is this even the purple? No, I just put the brown in this one. Well, we're gonna have brown in the purple and purple in the brown. Yes, I'm a genius. Fourth try in TWSBI Glow. Oh, what was that all about? Why'd that do that? All right, so that blurped, and I don't know why that blurped, but I'm hoping it's not going to keep blurping and behave itself. I like the color. I put the wrong one in the wrong pin. It's just how it's going to be because I'm not doing this, not cleaning it out again. All right, so that's that one, and then so like I said, if you want a bit more professional of a video on mixing these inks, I'm not your girl. And I just spilled it all over my desk. Great! Luckily, the simple green is right here. All right. TWSBI, blurp, blurp, blurp. Why? TWSBI Eco, black, rose, gold. That purple looks almost black, but that's okay. We're just gonna go with it. When it dries, it's drying more the purple. Now I gotta clean up my desk. All right, I'll clean. Thanks to my beloved simple green. All right, so this is what the kind of grayish purple looks like that I made, and this is what the kind of reddish brown I made looks like, and they're in the wrong pins, but that's just the way it's going to be. I'm too lazy to fix it. And if you watch this, man, you deserve a medal. Bye. I just remembered that it is not recommended to put the Diamine Forever Inks with the rose gold or it just kind of any coated nib. So I'm going to take it out of here. I'm going to clean this one of Diamine Grape and put it in there. I just want to say that I know that this Asfine V126 also has a plated nib, but I've got like 4 of these gold-plated extra fine Asfine nibs, so I thought for science I'd give it a try and see what happens. So yeah, that's that. And I cleaned out the TWSBI like immediately. All right, guys, quick update. So these Diamine Forever inks, they stain. So this is like a glass pipette. You can see that it's yellow. And then this one has the blue, mostly just on the tip. The pink. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my homemade pin flesh. Yeah, pin flesh. And that just has like 1 part ammonia to 10 parts distilled water. And I'm going to suck it up into those and run it through my ultrasonic, and I will let you know. Because I've got them in my toothpaste right now, but it may be a preppy situation instead. All right, so after using pen flesh, it's not come clean. Now, if I use a Q-tip, like I did on here with this, you can start, wiping it off. So let's see if I pull this out. But my worry is that they say that they've got nano pigments. And I asked my resident physicist, would he risk using these tools with any other inks, considering, nano. And he said he thinks that's more of a chemistry question, but the word nano makes him think that, yeah, maybe not. So these are now Diamine Forever pipettes, like freaking all of them. And I need to buy some more pipettes. So that is that. But yeah, this is how clean the yellow one came after using it, but I can't get in there with this Q-tip, and I don't know, I just boiling them. I don't know. They've been in the ultrasonic cleanser. They've had pen flesh. It may be that the Kohinoor Rapido Ease would work better, but I'm just not trusting any of this stuff. So yeah, these are all Diamine Forever, and I'm buying some new ones.